everyone. It is us again. We are Expat Escapades. I am Lynn.
And this is Jason.
And we are trying to be Tuga in every way that we can. And honestly, at this way, mostly failing.
But we are succeeding.
We're trying, okay? We're trying. We're still not very Portuguese. But anyway, we're coming at you with another video today. We wanted to talk about something that is very important that a lot of people are probably contemplating when they move here, and that is buying property in Portugal.
Or renting.
Or renting property in Portugal. Again, Jason is from the EU. He's an EU citizen already, and I'm from the US, so our situations are a little bit different. Also, me and my partner are in the process of looking for a house and applying for a mortgage. Jason has already bought his house, so he can tell you more about successfully undergoing the process. I can tell you about my pitfalls and my successes that we've had so far because we haven't done it yet. So I think the most important thing that we should start out with is, what do you need to buy a house or to rent a house in Portugal?
So there are two kind of people. Some people, which I believe most of the people, will come here and they rent before, which I think it's a good idea. So you get the feel of the country, of the place that you're going to live in. And then there are those people that they buy before even stepping in Portugal.
Which, I mean, brave.
Yes, I know people that literally they just bought a house from a video call. The estate agent did for them. But anyhow, that's not our story. The first thing that you would need to obtain an If. It's a tax number. Without the NIF, you cannot purchase any house, any vehicles, nothing.
And it's very easy to get. You just talk to a government agency, or you can have an agent. You can literally, I know from the United States, you can hire an agent who will inquire on your behalf and do it for you. But it's a very easy thing to do to get this.
In fact, although we are from EU, we appointed a lawyer, and he sorted out everything for us. So anyway, first you would need the NIF, and then you would need, most important, the bank account. It has to be a Portuguese bank account. For someone from the EU, it's quite simple. You would need identification, proof of that you're renting or that you own a house.
Or proof of residence.
Or proof of residence, yes. If you're renting, a contract. If you're not renting, if you're staying with someone, you need to go to Junta, and they will give an attestato that you literally live there. There's you need to take two people with you as proof.
As witnesses.
As witnesses that you actually live there. And that's it. Basically, they will ask if you have an income coming, work contract, or you're self-sufficient, and you have money in your bank account. And for a new person, it's quite easy to open a bank account.
Yeah, but it can be, I will say the pitfalls, yes, it is easy. However, it can be really cyclical and frustrating if you do not live here yet. Me and my partner tried to open a bank account before we moved here, and we found this very infuriating cycle of you need an address to have a bank account, but you need a bank account to have an address because they want you to be able to prove that you pay rent. So we went around in circles with about 10 different banks. And if you were having trouble opening a bank account in Portugal, I would suggest go find a lawyer, any lawyer. Okay, you can walk up to a law office and see if they're bilingual if you don't speak Portuguese. Pay the 50 to 80 euro consultation fee, because that's what it's going to be, and have them get you contacts, have them help you find somebody that can, intervene on your behalf to open a bank account. Because me and my partner went in circles for days, and then we talked to a lawyer and it was done in an afternoon. So if you don't think you can do it yourself for a very reasonable price, you can get somebody to help you. That's what I would say. So NIF, bank account, what else?
Also, you would need a certificate that you are from European Union. You go.
Not for me, because I'm not from the European Union.
Yes, sorry. So for people from EU. Um, uh, they just give you a certificate that it's kind of a residency permit, and that one you would need it as well. And it's always good to carry it with you because that shows that you're legally residing in Portugal as an EU person. It's like freedom of movement, because when you're from EU, you can reside in any country in the European Union. And then you need a good real estate agent that is willing to show you around and is not only willing to show you his properties but other properties. And once you find the house that you like, you'll put an offer. And also, sorry, before you put an offer, you can block it. You pay like €2,000, and they will block it, so no one else can view the property.
But this is with an understanding that you are going to, like, that locks you in and you lose that money, obviously,
No.
if you back. No, really?
No,
Really?
no. Once we blocked, actually we blocked two properties, and no, you get them back.
Oh, really?
Yes, you just put 2,000, they block it, and then you'll do your thing, like check with your banks and whatever, and then you can tell them, okay, the bank didn't approve, or I don't like it. Simple as that. I don't like it, and we did it twice for two properties because we were still in Malta and we saw a flat and it looked nice. So we got on a flight, we blocked it, sorry, we got on a flight, came here, and it was nothing as seen on pictures. And of course, you're not going to buy it. So we cancelled it and we just got the 2,000 back. So no, they will give you the 2,000 back.
You've had a different experience than me
Really?
because every single time they told us, mind you, we had a different experience than, when I say we, I mean me and my partner had a different experience than Jason. Also might be because we're non-EU people. That totally might be why. But they've always told us that if we wanted to reserve a house before we're ready to actually, sign the papers for it, if we wanted to make it so nobody else could see it, then we pay them a certain amount, but if we end up not buying that house, we would lose it. That's what they told us.
That is the promissory of sale.
Yeah.
That's, yes, not refundable.
Okay.
We're talking about blocking the property.
Okay.
You're not doing a promise of sale.
Okay.
You're just blocking it until you arrive from the States to Portugal to see it.
Okay. Okay.
So, no, promise of sale, no, you lose the money. Okay. So after you block the house, you come and see it, and maybe you like it or you don't like it. If you like it, you can proceed with the promise of sale. And
For
then
the promissory note. Yeah.
Yes. And then you have to put a deposit of
usually 10%.
10%.
Yeah.
If you back off, you will lose the 10%. If the seller backs off, he has to give you double. Okay, so 20% back.
So you put down the 10%, and from what I know, like I said, Jason has done it, I haven't. You put down the 10%, and then both like the selling party and the buying party are given time to get their affairs in order. Obviously, the selling party is gonna clean up the house and move out of the house, and the buying party is gonna, make sure everything is copacetic with their bank, that they can get the loan, blah blah blah. And then you actually like sign the paper to sign the contract to sell. Correct?
Correct.
Some time frame. When you sign the promissory note, you agree on the time frame that it's going to take you to sign the actual contract. Yes. But then you sign the contract, and then that's it.
Yes.
But I would say for the process, again, different because we're from the United States, and also because me and my partner are self-employed. He owns his own company for which I work for, so I work for him in his own company. So the paperwork that we were required to pony up for a loan, when I tell you, my friends, it was like I was giving away my firstborn child in paperwork. Like so much.
I think because you're non-EU.
Yeah, probably because I'm
because
non-EU.
Even us, we are both self-employed. Mm-hmm. I think that makes a difference. And if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, even the deposit is higher.
Yeah, of course.
For non-EU.
Yeah, also, and the mortgage, the percentage of a mortgage that you can get is also higher. If you are an EU citizen, you can get up to 80% of the value of the house in a
Exactly.
mortgage. If you are
Exactly.
from the United States or outside the EU, you can only get 70% of the mortgage.
Exactly.
So, and if you're from Portugal, guys, if you are a
90,
Portuguese citizen,
90%.
you can get a 90% mortgage for a property. It is
Plus,
amazing.
there's going to be a new scheme being launched soon for Portuguese to a certain age. If I'm not mistaken, up to 35, it's going to be 100%.
That's amazing. That's amazing because it gives Portuguese people a way to afford houses. You might have seen me mentioned in any some
But
of
on
our
the other side, the property will go higher
yeah,
because
that's
there will
true.
be more
You'll be in
people
debt for your
buying,
entire
yes,
life,
and
basically.
people buying.
Yeah, but I
That's
mean, it's the
another
only
thing.
way that a lot of Portuguese people can afford houses because the
Yes.
Portuguese market is not geared toward Portuguese people, which is really shitty.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Jason, what was your process like from start to finish? How long did it take you?
So it took us only like 2 months until the searches are done. We sort it out with the bank, and in like 5 6 weeks, we got an appointment, and we just went and signed the deed. It was pretty straightforward.
Must be nice.
It was, yes, it was nice because back in my country, the bank keeps coming back to you like, we need this, we need Form A, we need,
That sounds
and
like what
it
they did to
takes
us.
months, minimum 6 months.
Funny story. Me and my partner started looking for homes in January of this year. We looked at like 25, 30 houses, found one that we absolutely loved, thinking that we were going to be able to apply for a mortgage very easily. No, no. We didn't have half of the necessary paperwork that we thought that we were going to need. We had to put a halt on our entire like home search, right back to our accountant in the US, pony up a whole bunch of extra paperwork. We were stalled out for like 3 months. The house that we loved sold. And now here we are, like in the process now of actually waiting for the mortgage decision because we submitted all the paperwork and having to start our search all
And
over.
over again.
So
It's shitty. Yes.
But yeah, it was easy for him, and he got a really nice house, which you might see someday in videos. And we're hoping that eventually, we'll find our dream house too. We're looking.
You will. Just get one with a pool, so I'll come and swim.
I want a pool, you guys. I want a pool. But now that we've talked about all of like the boring stuff when it comes to finding a house, let's talk about specifically like our town, Braga, neighborhoods, because they don't actually, him and his husband don't actually live in Braga. They live in a neighboring village.
We live in Braga.
They live in the province of Braga. They don't live in the city
Not in
of
the
Braga.
city. No.
Okay. So Portugal has a whole bunch of different provinces. I think you would call them provinces, states, like smaller,
like districts, kind of.
Like districts, right? And Braga is the name of the district as well as the city that we live in, that is the capital of that district. Okay. So if you want to live in Braga city center, which is hilarious, guys, because 3 or 4 years ago, you could buy a house here for 90,000 euro, a flat for 50,000 euro.
We missed the train.
We definitely missed the train, because now if you want to buy something in Braga city center, like a flat, a 2 or 3 bedroom, let's just say a 2-bedroom flat is going to cost you 300 to 400 probably in city center. A house, me and my partner looked at some townhouses in the city center, 500,000 or higher is what you were looking at. Anything in like the center of Braga, 500,000 higher. And then their neighborhoods in the city of Braga. I'm not talking about outside of Braga yet, but there are cities, neighborhoods, in Braga, Nogueira and Nogueiro, which wrap around the edge of the city up by Bom Jesus and wrap around. They have mountain views, so they're very, very expensive. We're talking 700, 800,000 up to $1 million houses. Now, 2 years ago, you probably could have gotten something there for 200K, but not anymore. There's I'm trying to think of different neighborhoods. Can you help me? São Victor, which is closer to the downtown area. You're still probably looking at 200-300. São Vicente, which is another neighborhood. Me and my partner live in a neighborhood that is very close to Parque de Pontes, and I've seen they sell penthouses in our neighborhood for like 250, 300, which isn't bad, but We live in a neighborhood. I'm not going to disclose where we live just for safety purposes. You could probably guess if you lived in Braga, but it's in a neighborhood that doesn't have the best reputation. Completely undeserved, in my opinion, by the way. I've never felt anything less than safe there. But because of that, the property is a little bit cheaper. But in the city of Braga, it's going to be very hard for you to find something under 200K if you're looking at
I don't
three
think. No, I
bedrooms.
don't think you would find.
No way. But if you
No,
don't, if you're okay,
three.
if you have a car and you're okay with living, a little bit of a ways outside of Braga, you have options.
Where it's nicer, more
Yeah.
green, more peaceful,
So, where do you
less
live? Talk
traffic.
about where you live.
Yes, we live in Villa Verde, Amarish Villa Verde. It's more on the outskirts of Braga. It's like 22 minutes drive to the city center. Um, uh, of course, it's a village, but you have everything. You have banks, you have supermarkets, you have bars, restaurants, you have everything. But you're not in the center, but it's like very, very close by. So it depends what you're into. Are you a city guy or gal, or you prefer nature? We live more in the nature like side. Everywhere you see is green.
Yeah,
So
it's absolutely beautiful where they live. And in the 8 months that we've had to think since our housing search got kind of waylaid, we've actually gone from thinking we wanted to live in the city center to wanting to live more outside of the city center because you get more bang for your buck and it's a lot nicer. Like, don't get me wrong, Braga is a lovely city to live in. But the further out you go, if you have a car, drive 20 minutes outside of Braga and you will find a property that's twice as good, twice the space for half the price.
exactly.
It is like not even a Villa
And
Verde, Amares, Povo de Lanioso. I'm just trying to think of like villages. Ferreiros, Ferreiros and Saleiros are actually on the, like, they're kind of like Braga city. They're on the outskirts of Braga. But like the further away you get from Braga in any direction, the less you're going to pay, at least until you get to the city limits of Porto.
although still they're going up,
Yeah,
even
they
on
are.
the outskirts.
Yeah, come now.
E-
Come now.
when we arrived, actually before we arrived, we were checking houses with a certain budget. And I swear to God, as soon as we arrived, like the prices hiked. Like there was nothing in the price range we were looking into. So I believe the property market in Portugal is going up, and I don't think this is going to stop very soon.
We'll have to see because we're still looking and we're hoping to hopefully find our house by the end of this year. You guys, wish me luck. I think if you guys would be interested, please let me know. I could make videos about our house hunt, like show you some houses, tell you price points, tell you kind of what we're looking for, things like that. And you could kind of like come with me on my house hunting journey so you can see what it's like. Let me know if you would be interested in something like that, and I will definitely do it. He's not gonna do it because he has a house. But
Also, we can give some ideas about rent in the
yeah.
center.
Oh yeah. So renting. Sorry, I forgot. Also depends on the neighborhood. But right now, city center, I would say city center even, you're not gonna find a studio for less than 1,000. Like it's gotten to be, you might get lucky and like slip in between 800 and 1,000, but even a studio apartment is going to run you like 800 to 1,000 in the city center now.
And what if you go a bit out, like South Victor, South Vincent? How
If you
much?
go like out Sal Victor, Sal Vicente, like Nogueira, like lots of places, it depends on how old the apartment is, the upkeep of the building, the neighborhood, things like that. You can find like a decent 2 or 3 bedroom apartment for like 1,000 to 1,500. It might not be the newest, it might not be the most modern. I don't personally mind telling how much that I pay for rent because I'm overpaying.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, we pay 1,000 for a very large, pretty comfortable, but in an old building, kind of dated 3 bedroom apartment. Okay, and we're overpaying. It was on the market for 700. We got into a bidding war, and that's how that happened. Okay, because the thing about rentals here is they go the influx
Yes.
of new people coming in and out is
Yes.
so quick that literally listings go up for hours,
In fact,
days.
I was told by our agent that they don't even list it because the minute they put it on, sorry, they don't even promote it. Because the minute they put that they have a property for rent in the center, overnight, next morning, they'll get like 20, 30 emails. So there's a huge market for rent in the center.
I would say that median rent in like the city center, the closer you get to the city center, it's more expensive. But in the city center, the closer like boroughs to the city center, you're looking at like 1,000 to 1,500 for depending on the size of apartment you want and the neighborhood. If you go further out, like if you go to Celeiro, Waltar, these are outer lying neighborhoods that are at the very edge of Braga. You'll be able to find like a 2 bedroom apartment for like 600, 700. I've seen listings for 600. They're not like the
600.
nicest, they're not the nicest thing you're going to find, but it's possible. And the moment you get out of the actual city of Braga, you will be able to find stuff that's like 400 or 500,
Plus,
but that's like driving distance.
yes.
You'll need a car.
Plus, it's very common to rent an apartment or a house without any furniture.
Yeah.
I mean, for us, coming from Malta, all the flats and all the apartments, all the houses, they're rented out with furniture.
Ours is not. The one that me and my partner are renting had no furniture. It had like a futon in it when we got there, and that was what we slept on while we were waiting for the rest of our IKEA furniture to come. But we rented it without any furniture in it
Okay,
at
now it's
all.
quite common here.
Yeah. So
Because I think people, since they don't buy, they rent. They move from one flat to another, and they take their belongings with them, their furniture with them. I think that's the main reason.
yeah, there's choice for you if you want to rent an apartment with furniture. If you want to rent an apartment that's like serviced, like a maid comes like once a week with and it has furniture and it's
Be
nice,
prepared.
that's completely available to you here. You're going to pay out the butt for it, but it's available to you here if that's what you're looking for. Me and my partner are looking to settle. Obviously, he and his husband were looking to settle, so that's not what we are looking for. But when it comes to rentals, they go quick. You have to be on top of them. It helps if you have an agent and you have to be kind of aggressive about it.
Exactly, and they ask mostly for guarantors.
Guarantors, yeah.
Guarantors as well. You need to pay months in advance, so you're not just going to go and put a deposit or pay 2 months and you're going to rent the flat. I've heard stories that they ask for 1 year in advance.
Oh, you mean that you're talking about like the year deposit? You mean they want a guarantee, is what you're asking.
1 year in advance, and sometimes they ask for if you don't pay 1 year in advance plus 4 months, another extra 4 months deposit, they will ask for a guarantor, a person who is Portuguese that he would be liable if you do not pay.
Don't do that unless you absolutely have to. Like
Yes.
this is our opinion. We're not realtors, we're not like
No.
professionals, but like I know so many people that were scammed by this
Yes.
that were like, "Oh yeah, we paid like 8, 9 months, a year's deposit, and if we had waited a little bit longer, then we could have found something." Yes, the apartment market, the rental market is savage here, but if somebody tries to bait you into paying a year's deposit, unless you want that apartment and you can afford it, go for it. But I wouldn't pay that if you don't really have to. And there are laws against it, actually.
Yes, but they still do it.
Huh?
They
Yeah,
still
they
do
still
it.
do it, but there are laws against it. So be very careful with that.
Yes,
I would say
it's
the average, what they ask for here is 1 or 2 months deposit. That's the average. That's normal.
That's normal.
So yeah.
But
that's
they
what I would
will
say.
need a guarantor.
They didn't need a guarantor for us. They just asked for.
It was not our experience.
Oh
huh?
really? Okay.
They
Well-
wanted in advance, 6 months or 12 months in advance, or guarantor.
Well, also when they first moved here, the place that they were renting in was like pretty nice.
No, not about that
new-
one. That one was okay.
No, it was nice though.
But
it was,
we checked before. No, that one they were very nice, and they just took like 6 months in advance, and that's fine.
No, but what I'm saying is like our apartment is like, it's fine. It's fine, guys. I'm not trying to say that I live like in a sewer somewhere, but it's old, rusty, dusty. They wanted to get us in however they could. So they weren't looking for a guarantor for that because it wasn't. The place, I feel like the place where you were when you first moved here was really nice. So I can
Yes.
understand if the owner was like, okay.
No, he didn't want that one.
Really?
No.
Okay. Huh.
But we were like gentlemen and we gave it back.
Mhm.
Not how it was, even better.
Because he's anal about cleaning. That's
Yeah.
that's why.
Yes, we took care of it like it was ours because we don't want people to suffer damages,
Yeah.
on our behalf. So.
But yeah. Anyway, so that is our
Experience.
our experience, our running way too long summary of what our experience has been like. Please let us know if you have any questions, comments, concerns, if there were inquiries that we didn't answer, and we'll try our best to answer them in the comments. But for now, that is it. So thank you so much for listening to our almost half an hour long tirade. And we will see you next time. Bye, guys.
Don't forget to like and
Oh, yeah,
subscribe.
like and subscribe.